Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn, and today I'm joined by our special reoccurring guest, Emmeline Saavedra. And I am so excited to have Emmie back. Today, we're going to be talking about why your sales soar in a fiercely competitive landscape. Who doesn't want to know about that? So for those of you who don't remember Emmie, Emmie is the president and co-founder of the Champions Institute, where she leads a team of expert coaches, trainers, and consultants on sales, communication, and extreme leadership. With more than 30 years in the medical and dental industries and over a decade in entrepreneurship, her strengths lie in building deep relationships, elevating personal and team performance, and empowering strong leadership. Emmie is an award-winning certified trainer and coach with Codebreaker Technologies and masterfully trains the BANK, B-A-N-K, methodology to teams and entrepreneurs to produce astronomical results, top revenues, and build trusting relationships. Emmie is committed to empowering others to achieve personal and phenomenal success, both in life and in business. Emmie believes that both are tightly integrated and hold the key to living a fulfilling and joyful life. And amen to that. Welcome, Emmie. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're back.
Oh, Lynn, thank you so much. This is such a pleasure. And I look forward to this conversation. It's like, when is it not fun with you and yet empowering? And it's just invaluable. So thank you for having me back, Lynn.
Well, I'm thrilled because this is such a great topic for our listeners. And for those of you who are joining us for that very first time, you know what? Take this moment right now. Don't miss out on another episode or a single episode of Claim Your Career Crown by subscribing to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And while we're on the subject, if you love what we're doing and you love the show, please leave us a 5-star review. We would very much appreciate it. All right, Emmie, let's get into this. So for those of you who are tuning in and who haven't heard about Emmie or the Champions Institute, oh my goodness. Can you tell us more about you and your company and what you do?
So perfectly. Thank you, Lynn. So we created the company, the Champions Institute, about 1.5 years ago with the full intention that it is very purpose-driven. It is all about impacting the world and as many human beings as we can touch, and with the sole purpose of really creating a world of champions who lead the world with love, courage, and excellence. So how do we do that, Len? We do that by empowerment. We empower and provide everybody, seriously, who are willing to grab it and get their future in their hands and create the life they want with the resources they need. And when I say all the resources they need, I mean everything, because if we don't have it, we surely can find a place for it and get somebody to come in and give it all. So it's like a buffet, you know, Lynn? You come in and you want to fulfill your hunger and you have this whole rows and rows of food and you just get to pick what you choose. And if there's nothing on the tray, then we will call the chef to cook it. So how about that? It's really just like that, right? So we are really about that. And our big audacious goal is to really impact 200 million lives and graduates in 10 years. So we are here for big work. We're here for a big game. And yet we are very heart-filled and very purposeful. So this is a movement. I cannot do it alone, Lynn. So being here with you, you're my champion as well. So let's go and get this done to the best that we can in this physical world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more than just being a buffet, it's just that incredible quality of the programs that you deliver and the experience that you give to the champions who participate. So, let's sort of take a look at those clients, those people who are coming in. What's one of the biggest challenges they face?
Yeah, I am very big on self-growth and development. And transformation is a work that really can lead the path to the fulfillment of one's dreams. I truly believe in that, right? Like you hear the word says like, get out of your own way. That's part of the transformational work you do for yourself, because a lot of times we are the common denominator in every area of our life. So how we really, the challenge I see a lot nowadays is people really not having enough faith in themselves, enough belief in themselves. There's a lot of, can I do this? I cannot do this. I really want this, but I don't know how to do this. And, the sadder part of it all are people really just being resigned about life, just really like being content with their lot because they actually probably doesn't see what's beyond their frame. And also because there's also a layer of fear in everything we do, Lynn. There's always that fear factor that holds us back, right? Whether it's obvious or not, subconscious or unconscious, but there's that. And so that holds them in their track of dreaming bigger, seeing more of themselves, like being the hero to their families, because it's really the times are not getting easier. However, we have resources that make sure that that we will equip you with whatever you need. Just reach out and let us know, communicate. So
Yeah.
That being said, it's a communication factor. You see that in the younger generation and the older generation, and communication, especially to ourselves, we call that direct communication, is really needing it really requires a uplift to really get us going so we can go with the times and not being at the effect, not being the life dictating who you are, but you really taking it by the horn and say, this is the life I want and I can have it, I will have it. And who do I need to go to get this, be on my team and make it happen?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's so true. And I also am like you, I'm a lifelong learn it all and
Mm-hmm.
passionately believe in continuing to work on myself, both personally and professionally. And I think when we take this pivot and we sort of look at it in that sense of people who are in sales and companies who, the owners of businesses who have, of course, sales teams, otherwise they wouldn't be in business.
Yes.
And, that level of maybe that lack of confidence or assurance or the fear factor that could be going in place because the market is constantly changing from the new competitors, a fiercely competitive market, new technology, whatever is sort of going around in the world, new things that are trends that are evolving. And so for our salespeople to really stay on top of things, I feel like this is more urgent than ever, that they, really continuously improve and pursue both professional and personal development. And I know that you guys have an awful lot to offer that. So I'd like to hear from you. I mean, what's your viewpoint on, is it more urgent than ever? Am I on there? And then how do you serve that and create that impact for the sales professionals and the business owners?
So perfect, Lynn. Thank you for that question, because this is really what I'm passionate about. So at the Champions Institute, we lead with sales and leadership training through communication that lands and that will be effective in the results we want. So how we want to do that is that, number one, we want to make sure that people have a very healthy context about sales. Everything in life is really about sales. Just that simple switch in paradigm will really get you going, right? It could be something that you might not like to have, but what if you love sales? What does it look like? So we begin by that, is really shifting and having them see it in another light, because there's so many different angles you can look at one word, one concept, one even figure, right? So the truth, and I truly believe this, is that everything we do in life is a sale. Even how you get yourself up to eat cereal in the morning instead of drinking your shake, right? That is selling yourself an idea. So everything in life is about sale. And to really make a big impact in this world, we need to be very, very good in communication, in how we approach sales, and really be in business. Having your businesses and being in business really is a big key to having freedom of your own life and having a say in, like, this is how I want to impact the world, and this is what I have, and I'm bringing it to the world in the way that speaks to my true self, to my spirit, to my values. And it's such an empowering feeling. And Lynn, I think at the end of everything we do in life, we do want to leave with a feeling of immense fulfillment, even every day. we do that, right? We go to bed feeling so fulfilled. And what does it look like? Because nowadays, I can really tell you what I know is that a lot of people go to bed thinking about how are they going to deal with tomorrow? Is there enough money on the table to take my kids to do this? And you see people even arguing over pizza. So we want to make sure that every business has prosperity. Every salesperson gets the chance at having all the tools they need to be successful so they can, go out there well and really experience the gift of rewards. So this is what we're doing. And we are really very passionate about that. And not even that. We want to create leaders who can really empower their teams and other leaders to really be each other's champion, to be excellent in sales and in communication, in building relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's that ripple. You're creating that ripple that becomes a wave with that impact. And when you are in sales, and of course you're serving and helping others, you're serving and helping them through your products and services, whether it's their business or their life or their family. And that in turn creates that ripple becomes a bigger wave. And that's so beautifully said, Emmie. And I want to, I'm going to, for full disclosure, I've gone through the Champions Institute programs. I've done 2 of the programs, and I have to be really straight with everybody listening. They are the best programs I've ever gone through. And I think it was really more about how to make that connection with the other person, because sometimes in sales, you don't know who that other person is that you're going to be meeting. And it's that communication component and how you can, both read them and connect with them. And, that's one of the most phenomenal things about this training. And not just for business or for your sales, but it is like who else you work with, your peers, it's your family, it's your friends. It just has unbelievably impact. And I know that when you are in sales and you meet with somebody who is like a very different personality than you, it can be a situation where you actually lose the sale, not because you don't have the right product or service and that there's a fit, but it's just that there was a personality mismatch. And, I know that for me, that is the type of challenge that certainly cost me in the past. And so how with the Champions Institute and the work that you do, how do you really help salespeople? I'd love for you to share, without my disclosing how incredible it is, what you do and how you really help them overcome these kinds of challenges so they can achieve their ultimate goal for themselves, for their sales, and also for the businesses and the employers that they serve.
Yeah. Firstly, Lynn, I really want to acknowledge you for your authenticity, because you can only speak of something when you experience something, and you put yourself through the courses and this is why we're having this conversation, right? This is what's so real about you and being here. So what makes our programs very distinct is that we incorporate both the tool and the skill set. And I'm under firm belief that training a content can be so much better when you incorporate other elements to it. And what I mean by elements is like what really matters to the audience, to the participants, what is going on in their life. And being a trainer, you're also being a consultant, a coach, a mentor right in front of the class. And that is what makes our program so distinct, is that we don't only teach the bank methodology, we teach even more valuably what happens in real life. How do you approach these challenges as they move along? It has to speak to the person and their own experiences. What makes something profound, Lynn? It goes beyond content. What makes it profound is being able to relate to the experiences of the other human beings, your other students. And we are able to very expertly, like really competently address that. So everybody who come out of our courses are not just getting the content, they're also getting practical implementations and tips and strategies. And more than anything, Lynn, they gain a whole community. At the Champions Institute, we are very passionate about creating the community, because it's in the critical mass that we really can get our dreams fulfilled of 200 million lives in 10 years, right? We
Yeah.
value that. We give them the education. And before I go back to you, the one thing that I'm going to end with this answer is that, Lynn, it's really profoundly impactful and important. It's critical that we all have the education and training.
Yeah.
The education and training speed up. It shortens the gap between here to what you want in life. If you can have all you want in 2 years instead of 20 years, can you imagine what you've gained along the way, the quality of life and the experiences you gain, and life takes on a whole different landscape. So that's why we are so different and very special, because we don't only train content, we incorporate extra things that makes it so profoundly impactful and invaluable and useful.
Yeah. Well, that's so well said. And I think what really sets your programs apart is because they're live training. I mean, it's not any kind of canned thing. It's just very interactive. It's very immersive. And then, besides everything that you go through, I mean, it's just unbelievable value that afterwards you get ongoing coaching, so you can truly practice and hone and really incorporate it. Because I'm going to be straight. I mean, the first time I thought it was the best thing I'd ever done. But it wasn't until I took the second course, and because I hadn't been doing the coaching sessions, and I just hadn't put them into my schedule. So shame on me, but it was just like, it really stuck. And then it was like, okay, I got to be showing up for this, because it's sort of like, you don't learn to ride a bike the first time you just hop up there and ride off into the sunset. No, normally you flip the bike over, you might skin in my case, your chin. But it's just like, and of course you ride up to it. So, you start on a tricycle, and then you go to a bike with training wheels, and then you get onto the bike. It's sort of like doing math. You don't start with division and suddenly you can do integral calculus. There's a whole, and of course, I'm not trying to say that this is that big of a gap, but that part of it, and that ability to connect with other people in that community, practical advice, and in that moment, like I'm in this situation, and really allows you to incorporate the personality, education and learning into your DNA, so that and just how much more impactful it can be because of that. And I know that there's so much more. So I'd love to hear from you all the hidden critical success factors that you do deliver, not only through the training, but through the Champions Institute.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. And what I love about our own trainings, and I always see what we do from an outside view, not as an owner, not as a leader, right? So what I love when I see from the outside of who we are is that we have fun. We have so much fun, and we love, and we are a stand for everyone in our community. And, going back to your example of bicycle, right? We don't only teach the 4 hours of training, that's the content training. We actually hold everyone's hands for 16 sessions of coaching and continuing training. So it's like a kid. A child learns to walk, and you want to make sure that those first few days and weeks, they have discernment of where they can go and where not, because it would hurt them. And so we really do that. We have a very, very personal, vested interest in everyone's growth and development. And this is why we incorporate the 16 sessions as part of their tuition, which makes it so really accessible to anyone, wherever budget you have, right? And so what really, where we're going with this, Lynn, is actually about the sales, right? Like, how do we empower them? Is that we really make everybody feel like they're really perfect. What they really are needing are just really the tools and the skill set. And there's nothing wrong with every human being. Everybody that comes through our courses, they know that they're never wrong. And so there's a very, very uplifting, empowering state of being. We work on the being first, Lynn. When your being is being faithful of yourself, knowing your own belief that you have what it takes, and then you take on the content we teach you and the coaching and the training, you are going to the world better equipped. So let me give you some testimonials, right? What we've seen. What I noticed was that if we teach on sales and leadership, there's so much more about the training inside the world that's happening. For an example, I have this lady, Cherie. She's amazing, love her, and she won't mind me saying this, but for years, you can have a parent not having the best relationship with their children. I'll just take about me. For years, in all my 45 years in life, I never got my mom and dad. I really grew up in a family where I feel like I'm an outsider. I never really have a deep relationship with them. But since taking the training and learning along the way, I just realized that they're just a different personality. And so what came out of that, I see them and I saw them and I'm still seeing them in a very different light. So why is this impactful? This is impactful because your family and your relationships are what shape you. Who you are at home is really how you are outside. And that's being authentic, for real. So if we can even help a human being gain a whole different experience with their parent, can you imagine what that looks like for that person? And there's another person who said, I just wish I had this course, learned all this 2 weeks ago before my mom passed. Because I would have had the different conversations with her, with my siblings while she was transitioning. So, I mean, there are things like that. And you also hear people like yesterday, there's a realtor that said, using the bank methodology in our training, the style of our training, she was able to make $140,000 in one day on 3 transactions. That's huge. This is a realtor where we are really delving and serving them this month. We want to really not divert, but include them fully, because think about this, 20% of realtors right now at the present time have their license 1 year or less. So these are newbies. These are people who are really coming in with passion, and they are the ones who need the education, the training, and they really are hungry for it because they invested a lot of money in studying and getting their license. So this is just a little investment for them to gain the skill set, the practical application of how they can rock their business and experience success at the shortest time possible. So there's so many. And lastly, there's also a realtor that said she increased her income up to 300% and more in the first year that she did use the bank methodology into every transaction, into every conversation. So the testimonials are wide and varied and impactful in every way.
Yeah. And I can also attest that you can be in professional sales your whole life and still an old dog can learn new tricks. So you can use me as the example of an old dog learning new tricks.
Yes.
Incredibly wonderful. And so, I think that as we sort of wrap up here, Emmie, if you could advise, everyone who's tuning in, about one thing that one essential action that they could take to really, really flip their mindset. Let's go back to that very beginning and really step out of their comfort zone and grow to overcome, the challenges or a challenge that they face. What would that be?
The one thing that I would really advise people is to invest in yourself. Do not get yourself out of overanalyzing, overthinking, and always recognize that your success is proportionate to the level of growth and development you do for yourself. And what does that mean, Lynn?
Well,
practice the power of discernment, right? Yeah. Recognize what will make a difference to you and take the action. Without action, there's no results. And actions are made under 2 paradigms. One is that you can take action in the paradigm of that it's your commitment to yourself and what you're creating, or you can make it a paradigm of convenience. Is it convenient for you or not? So actions that are effective, that will move your life, are actions based on commitment, and you take it, right? So this is really where I say, invest in yourself. That's the best thing you can do. We can always make money. However, the time we miss out by not building ourselves up, by getting educated, getting trained, will cost a lot in the long run or even in the short run. So take every opportunity as a time for you to grow. And really, I highly encourage everyone to take our courses, whether you're in sales, in leadership, in your relationships. Take it, because you will bless a lot of lives. And above all, you will bless yourself, because you did an action that will make you proud, that I promise you, and this is a guarantee, Lynn, I promise you, you will be so way better, greater than you have ever been. And so the whole point is, like, we all are great. And there are people who really don't think they're great. And yet you also see people who are really great. And our interest, Lynn, is really about how much greater can you really be? What is your greatest self? So we'll take you there. So thank you. This is what we're committed to at the Champions Institute, Lynn.
Well, thank you so much for sharing why your sales soar in a fiercely competitive landscape, Emmie. And I have to tell you, at one point in there, I sort of felt like a little bit of deer on the headlight. I wasn't sure, am I supposed to answer? And then I went, oh no, good. It's a rhetorical question. But thank you for taking us there, because I know, and after listening to all this, I'm sure that our listeners are going to want to know more about you and where they can find out about you and the Champions Institute.
Yes, thank you. It's really the biggest gift you can give yourself, right? Give yourself this gift, and I promise you, we will never disappoint you. And that's a big promise and a big guarantee.
All right. And that's at thechampionsinstitute.com. And we'll make sure to include all of Emmie's backlinks down below, so that she is one click away. And once again, Emmie, this has been such an informative discussion. And for everyone who tuned in, I hope you loved this conversation as much as I did. And if you have any ideas that you'd like to share, you can leave us a comment down below. We love hearing your thoughts. And if you have a question or would like to suggest topics for discussion, you can email us at jointheconversation@petite2queen.com. And of course, to stay current on all of our insightful advice, our breakthrough advantages, incredible episodes like the one we just did with Emmie, you can sign up for our weekly Wisdoms newsletter at petite2queen.com. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in. And Emmie, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your incredible wisdom.
Thank you, Lynn. It's so fun. And I urge everyone, have fun in life. Never lose hope, because we are here for you. All right, me and Lynn and the world that are standing for you, have faith, have hope, and reach out. Communicate, reach out, please. Thank you.